Hey everybody, namaste. Um, this will be, so I just finished yoga filming not too long ago. I'm in the park and I'm super hungry now. So I just wanted to show you what kind of I eat after yoga, but this will be a completely unedited video in the sense that everything will be in real time. Everything I cut, chop, cook, dice, steam, whatever I'm gonna do. I have no idea what I'm gonna do right now. It'll all be just in real time and straight. So let's get started. So I think let's get some quinoa going and maybe some carrots, and we'll see where we go from there. Let's see what we got in the fridge. So let me show you. Yeah, there's some tofu here, there's some carrots. So we'll do something with that. Okay, so let's get started with the quinoa first because that's going to take the longest. So let's find it. So quinoa is here, and we're going to make it kind of with some miso and soy sauce. So I just cut it open. Let's get a pot out. And I'm gonna put it on the back burner so I can cook stuff on the front burner. Switch it on and we'll turn it on. So while the pot's heating up, let's cut up an onion. So here we have a white onion. Oh, it has these little green sprouts coming up, which is cool. So if I had a yard or a garden, I can plant just this piece in, and it'll grow an onion. But I don't, so we're gonna cut it up. Let me just adjust this so you guys can see the board. Yeah, cool. So we can just kind of cut it up. So since this is just for me, I mean, I don't really care about the size or anything. Just gonna give a quick little cut. Peel off that skin. I wonder where an onion skin comes from. How does it form? If any of you know, just let me know in the comments. It's interesting. Give it a quick little chop, 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 chop. Dice, 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 chop and chop and chop. That's like half an onion, and we'll put that into the pot. The pot doesn't have any oil in it right now, so I just want to have something in there so the non-stick coating doesn't burn off. And I'll put the oil in just now. But it is non-stick, so it won't start sticking and burning if there's no oil in it. Let's just put one more. Let's just put this whole onion in. Yeah, so the session that I just finished filming today was some of the 20-minute sessions. So I filmed 2 of them today, and I had to stop because all my stuff died. The battery for the camera died, the transmitter for this microphone died, and so I just had to come back and charge it. Okay, so the onions are in. Let's put some coconut oil in now. So it's like a teaspoonish. Okay, it just fell on the stove. Grab that. It's about a teaspoonish. Let's put some more. So another teaspoon. So 2 teaspoons. So a lot of people may think that that's a lot of oil. And maybe for some people it might be, but because for my needs, I do a lot of physical stuff during the day. So my body feels really good with that extra fat. But you guys just have to tailor it to whatever you guys, whatever your needs are. you know. Oh, there's a piece of onion I forgot to chop up. It's here. Let me just chop it real quick. Done. So, okay, cool. So I'm going to try avoid using the fan because it'll make a lot of background noise. Just open the window. I'm just going to close the room doors because onion smell goes into clothing a lot. So let me just close the door. And it's already closed. That's good stuff. Okay, so the onions are... Let me see if I can show you. So the onions are getting there. They're translucent. They're getting some color on them. So when they're like that, we're just gonna let it wait until it sweats down some more. But in the meantime, we can get some other stuff ready. So I'm gonna wash some carrots. Okay, so we have about 4 carrots here. And I'm just gonna move this transmitter for the microphone so it doesn't cut out if my back is turned. Shake up the quinoa a little bit. Okay, so we're just gonna go ahead and wash this. So I don't usually peel carrots. I mean, I've never peeled carrots. I just give it a good little rinse to get any dirt off of it. But I like to keep the skin on all of my vegetables mainly, if I can. I mean, because a lot of people say that there's a lot of nutrients in the vegetables and fiber and things, and whether or not that's true, I don't care to peel it anyway. So we'll just leave that like that. And just move this so you can see. So this is gonna be these carrots are gonna be in with some tofu. So I'll probably cut it into maybe some long strips. Not too small, because I kind of want still a bite. So maybe we'll cut each of these pieces into quarters. Okay, so these onions are looking cool. They're getting some nice color on them. They sweat down a bunch. So we'll just finish chopping these carrots and then we'll get back to it. Oh, I forgot to add something actually to the carrots, to the onions that I usually like to add. Let's see if I can bring that up some. So to this quinoa, I usually like to add star anise and cloves. And that star anise gives it a really nice flavor, and as well as the cloves. It's like kind of gives it like a little spice. I'm not sure how to describe the flavor of a clove or star anise, other than kind of like a licorice-y, maybe, type flavor. But it's really nice. So let's add about 7 or 8 cloves, a couple of star anise. And we'll just turn it down a little bit so the onions don't get too brown. Okay, while that's going, we'll get our other pan ready. So here's a pan, just a normal another pan. And we'll turn that on to high. Everything is usually done on high because again I'm quite hungry, so I need everything to cook fast. Cool, so the quinoa, the onions and star anise and cloves are in this, so this is where stuff starts to get a little bit interesting. So I'm gonna add some soy sauce. take that off the heat while I look for the maple syrup. This is a new packet, so I'm gonna just take the wrapping off of it. Put this back on the heat, thank you. And pour some maple syrup in. So it's like a tablespoon, I guess. Half a, maybe a teaspoon. And we'll just let this cook. So this technique, I'm not sure when I first started doing it, but I'm glad I did, because it gives the quinoa a really nice, like, sweet and savory effect. So yeah, so it looks like this. Let me just move the camera so you can see. So it looks kind of gooey and caramelly. So now let's add in some quinoa. While this pan takes a while to heat up, so it's okay. Just to be safe, we just add in some water so it doesn't burn the coating off or anything. So yeah, we'll add in the quinoa now to this pot. I don't know, it's like half the bag of quinoa. This bag is 500 grams, so 250 grams of quinoa goes in. Just shake it up a little bit. We haven't added in any water to this yet. I'm gonna add a little bit more quinoa just so I don't have to make it later. Put more water to get filtered out, because water in this part of town doesn't taste too good. The water here kind of tastes metallic, and I'm not very comfortable with it. I'm sure it's probably safe, but there's long-term effects of drinking stuff that tastes metallic. I don't know. There's a lot of stuff that's been researched, but a lot of stuff that hasn't been researched about the mental effects of drinking heavy metals that may or may not be present in the water. Which I'm sure they're not present, because I'm sure it's been tested and stuff, but stuff that slips through the testing. Okay. Anyways, I don't know what I was saying there. So we'll put some coconut oil in this pan now. This pan's nice and hot. While in this pan, the quinoa is just gently soaking up that flavor and toasting a little bit. So again, it's about a teaspoon of coconut oil into that pan. We'll just swirl that around, melt it up. Meanwhile, while that coconut oil is melting, let's go ahead and add some water to the quinoa now. So I'm not sure how much that was, but that's generally, that's gently covering the quinoa. So that's about double the height of the quinoa height of water. There's not really a harm to adding more. Just kind of adjust it. I like to add this amount and then just put a lid on it. That way it saves energy as well as water. If it was too much water, then just when it comes down to finishing, then just open the lid and let the water evaporate. So in that way the quinoa doesn't get too soft. So anyway, coconut oil in, just add in our carrots. So again, all of this is in real time. Nothing's being sped up or slowed down. Okay, while the carrots are on, let's cut up some tofu. So I have some tofu here that was used before, and anytime you have a block of tofu and you don't use all of it, just keep it soaking in water. That should keep it fresh, and change the water on a daily basis on however many days you don't use it. So we'll just take out this block here, and let me just move this so you can see. Yeah, so we'll just cut up this block of tofu like so. Just anyhow you want. I'm just doing it in cubes here, like that. And just stir up your carrots. So if you have a gas stove, that's better. Keep it on high, but with electric stoves, sometimes even though it's on high, the element isn't on fully, so it kind of sucks. But keep it as high as you can. Oh, yeah. Okay. Next, let's get some greens in here. So, what do we got? So with green vegetable wise, for green vegetables, I usually get whatever's leafy and green. So right in England, in this part of London right now, there's something called spring cabbage. I think it's called spring cabbage. Spring green. This is spring green. And it's quite cheap. It's 80 pence for a bunch of it. So we'll go ahead and use this. So let's take it out. This is what it looks like. It's nice and dark green. I used some earlier so the bag wasn't full, but this is about, it's cool. It's like, so this amount is like 40 pence, which is good value because it keeps you full for a long time. So we won't use all of it for now, because since we have the carrots as well, so we can spread out those vegetables. So we'll take 2, 3, 4 good sized leaves. Put the rest back, thank you. And we'll just give this a good wash. You know? Yeah, so the tripod is in the sink at the moment. Because that's the only place that I can put it right now. So, yeah. The water is just washing these leaves. Shake up the carrots. Carrots looking good. So yeah, a meal for me generally has, I mean, because me and my wife are both vegetarian, every dish has a bunch of vegetables in it. And I usually like to have a leafy green vegetable in whatever the dish is. And as well as either tofu or a bean or quinoa or pumpkin seeds, just to give it protein. And so when you have a variety of foods like this, when you have a variety of foods, it really gives you a complete meal for vegetarian and protein-wise. Because most vegetables and most grains and most beans, the protein isn't complete, meaning that it doesn't have all of the essential amino acids. So when you get different varieties, like you get these leafy greens, you get the carrots, you get the quinoa, you get the tofu. Each of those components have different essential amino acids. When you put them all together, then it forms a complete set of amino acids for your body. Okay, and I'm sure it does. I mean, there's way more to nutrition than what's known in scientific study, but in terms of number-wise and essential amino acids, and having a variety gives you a complete amount. So this is what the carrots look like. Let me show you like so. Let me move you. So the carrots are getting some nice color on them, as you can see. And we won't cook them too long, so I'm going to take them out now. Let me just put you back. So I'm going to take out the carrots so we can put in our green vegetables now. And I'm not going to salt these yet for two reasons. Well, if I was working in a restaurant and these were for customers, then I would definitely salt these now just to season everything along the way. But since this is just for me, then I prefer to eat less salt, lower sodium in my diet. Okay, so put that aside, and then very quickly we'll put this pan off the heat so the oil doesn't burn. And we'll just chop up the spring greens. And I'm wondering if these spring greens were tested, just like as kale and blueberries were tested for antioxidants, and just whatever the superfood criteria is. I'm pretty sure these spring greens would meet that criteria as kale would as a superfood, because the leaves are really dark green. There's a lot of fiber to it, and it just tastes really hearty. Yeah, there we go. So with greens, I don't like to cook greens for too long, so we're just gonna cook it a little bit so it gives it that charred kind of flavor. And if this pan was truly non-stick, I would have added the tofu, but this pan sticks quite a bit to tofu, so I'm not gonna cook the tofu in this pan with just as so. So I'll show you what I'm going to do afterwards. So just turn it around a bit. So as the heat works on the green, it gets darker green as well as a little bit translucent, so you can see here. So as you can see, because the heat is so high and we didn't add any water to it, there's a little bit of browning happening on the green, which is exactly what I want. It kind of simulates a barbecue effect on a stovetop. And our quinoa is still bubbling away. Looking good. We'll put the lid back on. Thank you. And I forgot to chop some garlic, so let me go ahead and chop some garlic. But I think this greens are almost done for now. Just a few more moments, I guess. Actually, the garlic, there's no rush to chop the garlic, but I'll just get it ready for later. So I have here 2 cloves of garlic. Okay, the greens are done, so I'm going to take them out now and put it on the plate with the carrots. So this is what we have so far, cooked. Next, I'm gonna add some water to this pan. Gonna fill this filter up somewhere. Okay. Alrighty. So that water is gonna boil. It's already boiling. So we're just gonna, if you can see, yeah. Okay. So we're just gonna go ahead and peel this garlic. So give it a smash. Give it a rough cut, doesn't have to be any sort of size, whatever. Just put it in the water, take another clove, smash. And just throw it in the water. Piece of garlic fell, so I'm not gonna waste that, so I'm just gonna wash it. Cool, 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 cool. So here we go. For some reason, I'll show you here. In the pan, it's turning white a little bit, and it's frothing. I have no idea why that's happening. Maybe that's because it was coconut oil in there earlier. Maybe it's something with the garlic. Something's going on. But anyway, it's good. So to this water, we're gonna add our tofu now. So that'll just give it a chance to heat up in this garlicky bath. And we're gonna add miso to that soon, but I don't like to add miso too early because it is a probiotic and it has live bacteria in there. So I kind of want to save it to the last minute as possible. And the miso is seasoned, so it's salty already. So I'm gonna, and also because the quinoa has soy sauce in it, I won't add any additional salt to this dish. Just the miso and the soy sauce is more than enough for me, anyway. I'm looking for something, and I forgot what I'm looking for. Chilies, okay, yeah, hot chilies. So these are finger chilies. These are the hardest thing that I can find in the supermarket these days. So we'll just take 2 of them. In some markets, like my brother, he found Scotch bonnet up by Birmingham. So if you have those, you definitely don't need 2 Scotch bonnets unless you want really, really hot stuff, because Scotch bonnet is quite hot. Let's just give this a nice little chop, 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 and we'll add that to the water. You know? So let me wash my hands because anytime you cook chilies, just wash your hands afterwards because the oil will stay on your fingers. And if you touch any part of your face or your eyes or anything wet, like any mucous membrane, it'll burn like crazy. Okay, that looks about good. I don't really care about cooking it any longer. Let me just show you. So the battery might die actually because I just charged. So on this camera, this camera only has, I think, 25 minutes recording time. So it cut out just now. I had to press record one more time. Okay, so let's take a look at how everything is looking. This is our quinoa. And the quinoa, You know when the quinoa is done, when it... Let me just take some out so you can see here. So when quinoa is cooked, it becomes clear, and it kind of, I mean, it's kind of an odd analogy, but the analogy of fish eyes, where the center is white and the ring around it is clear. That's when you know it's kind of moving towards that cooked state, and however farther past you take it, that's up to you. So for me personally, this is done. So when the quinoa has a little white center and the outside of the ring is clear, that's done for me. If you want it a little bit more soft and soggy, then just go ahead and just cook the hell out of it and keep going. So I'm gonna leave the lid off now and just let the water evaporate. Thank you, water. Let me close up this quinoa and clean up a little bit. If there is a clip, I'll leave it here for now. Let's put the soy sauce back. Swish, 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 swish. So like I said, electric stoves, I'm not a big fan of them because they don't keep the heat very high. So this is just, it looks like it's simmering, when if this was a gas stove, the water would already be evaporated. But that's alright, you just work with what you have. So we'll just move that around a little bit. We'll add our vegetables back into the pan just so the flavor can kind of infuse a little bit. Give it a quick little mix. Cool. Yeah, let's check our quinoa. Good stuff. So all our water is evaporated, and that's done. So here it is. Here's our vegetables. Let me turn this stove off now. So stove's off. So this is our quinoa over here. This is our vegetables. So let's just plate it up. So I'm not gonna have too much because I still have an evening yoga session to do. So I'll just take a spoon of this, spread that around. And if I didn't add any coconut oil to this stuff, on top of this I would add olive oil. But there's already enough coconut oil in here to give enough fat to this dish. And oftentimes people are afraid of fat. I know I was when I was growing up. I mean, I'm still growing up, but when I was younger, I used to not eat any fat. And now that I graduated med school, I kind of know better. Not know better, but I know what fat can do to the body in terms of it can help with nutrient absorption. Because this vegetables has a ton of nutrients in it that are fat soluble. And if I didn't have any fat, then those nutrients would most likely just pass straight out of me. Cool, so there it is. We have our quinoa with some vegetables. And I'm just gonna go and eat this now, but let me just move you up so you can see. So yeah, so for those of you that watched this video, thanks for watching. So that was real time, everything was real time, everything was real. Grabbing stuff out of the fridge, washing it, everything, preparation. So however long that took, was it 30 minutes, 32 minutes-ish? So yeah, so here it is. Tofu, spring greens, carrots, with quinoa. Enjoy. Hope you guys, I mean, if you do make it, enjoy. If you just watch just to watch me make this and eat, then hope you enjoy it as well. Let me know in the comments below if you do make it or